Let's be real. Thanks to the ongoing pandemic, we've been more and more in need of entertainment. In between doing chores at home, working from home, with every new movie and show being released online, it seems that we have an infinite amount of content to devour. That being said, when it comes to video games, the conversation shifts a little bit. With other methods of entertainment, you can kind of consume a show or a movie bit by bit, week by week. Video games, on the other hand, aren't as clear-cut. Alright, there are some people who might prefer sinking hundreds of hours into a live service game like Apex Legends or Final Fantasy XIV, while some people would rather play a video game one after another. So that got us thinking, how many ways can you play games while you're stuck at home? How many ways of play are there for us to stave off boredom? Well, let's find out with me, Dale, in this episode of IGN Decoded. Whacha! If only I had things to view in this Viewmaster. Of course, as an expert on gaming, on multiple devices,
Intro done! Show hijacked! Welcome to Can You Game On It? I'm a hijack Dale's show because he's talking about things that he doesn't know. He's talking about things in my areas of expertise. As you can see, I, Tash Boni, am the master of all things gaming tech. Okay, so Can You Game On It started in 2019. The first thing I ever reviewed was a phone. I think it was a Samsung phone. Moving on, since then, I have done so many. CK, how many have you done?
At least 100 at this point. Nah,
Wait,
maybe not.
really?
No lah. Oh no.
Like 30,
Maybe
30-ish? Yeah,
30-ish,
yeah. Which makes sense because we have been doing it for like around a year plus-ish. And we have gamed on so many things, from gaming laptops to smartphones to gaming phones to tablets. On top of everything I have tried and reviewed in Can You Game On It, I also own a whole bunch of stuff. Like Dale calls it the Holy Trinity. The Holy Trinity means Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, and the PlayStation 4.
Wow, Tash!
Also guys, I also have a super gaming PC. Also, I've been gaming on my phone. I have the iPhone 12 Pro as well as the Asus Zenfone 8. Depending on my mood, I kind of want to play on an Android or an iPhone. I also have the iPad Pro, which I play Genshin on. The reason why I like this so much is because I can actually connect my PlayStation 4 controller to it, so I can play a whole bunch of games on Apple Arcade on there. Also, I have the Nintendo 3DS, Game Boy Advance. I think that is all.
Yeah, you got that right.
Okay, for hardware, for us in Southeast Asia, I highly recommend a PlayStation 4 right now, not a PlayStation 5 because Apocalypse and you don't want to pay more than you should for a PlayStation 5. Let me just be real with you guys. PlayStation 5 right now, while it is awesome to have, the games on it are extremely limited. Yes, there are exclusives right now, but I don't think those games will be going anywhere. They'll still be there by the time you get the PlayStation 5. So in terms of value for money, right now is not the best time. So get a PlayStation 4 if you can, because they are quite cheap right now. Also, another great thing to have is the Nintendo Switch. Buy the one that can be docked, because let's be real here, you're gonna be stuck at home all the goddamn time. You don't need a light. Then if you feel like you want to lay in bed, you can. If you want to play on a big screen, also you can. Also, I think everyone has these. You can definitely game on a phone.
Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones.
If you have iOS phone, you can get Apple Arcade. There's a whole bunch of games in there. Or if you're on Android, there are a whole bunch of free games as well worth playing. In Southeast Asia, I think everyone loves playing games, the mobile games such as Legends Bang Bang, PUBG Mobile, Free Fire, and Wild Rift. I think those are like the top 4 here in Southeast Asia. But if you're a huge Genshin Impact fan, I recommend playing on PC because mouse and keyboard superior. Or if you're not into that, you can also do controller. And the best part about it is, if you feel like you want to go to bed, you can play on your phone on lowest graphics. Don't do high. We talked about this a lot.
Gee, I wonder if you can game on this. Now I know what you're thinking, yeah, it's her job to play video games. What about regular people? There are those who took the time to play old favorites, digging up nostalgia to retread, walking down memory lane, yada yada yada, right? We hear ya! So, we reached out to two game collectors, Zenderson from Malaysia and Zaidi from Singapore, and we talked to them on how many devices they actually have to play games on, as well as how they've been maintaining their collection during the pandemic so far. Let's check it out.
Right, I'm Zen. I am the owner of Zenderson Store. We've been in business since 2015, and I've been collecting way before that. We're focusing on retro video games and console, as well as repairing and also restoring them. For now, I think we're the only one that's doing this full time in Malaysia. Actually, my stocks are really running low because a lot of people have been buying. But getting stocks nowadays is very hard, and the demand has increased right now, and the supply is getting low, and that has caused the value of retro video games and consoles to skyrocket. I mean, for this pandemic going on and all that, GameCube games are fairly not that expensive, but after lockdown and all that, the value really skyrocketed.
How many games do you think you own personally?
2,000 plus
How many consoles do you own?
consoles, including the bootleg one. I would say like 100 plus.
What do you think is the best consoles to kind of keep yourself busy with?
I would say, well, if you have a PS5, go for PS5, right? But that is quite hard to get right now. Switch is good to have. I mean, you can play like One to Switch, Just Dance, and all that with your family. And I would say after that is the OG NES. I always bring my son here in my collection room and boot it up and play Duck Hunt as well as Mario. And then I would say Sega Mega Drive. As a matter of fact, I have like this thing here. This plays Mega Drive on the go. It's not the Nomad. I have the Nomad right there, but this one is smaller. It's easier to bring anywhere. Then after that, Super Famicom, of course. What's the point of collecting if you don't play, right? And then lastly, I would say the GameCube. The GameCube is one of my favorite consoles to play because it has solid titles. Like most of the Zelda games are in there, from the 8-bit era until the latest one for GameCube that time. You have like almost all of Resident Evil in there. You have Resident Evil 0, then the remastered. And then they also have 2, 3, and 4 as well in the GameCube. So yeah, that's it. And right now I'm playing Control for PS5. I just finished Bugsnax, and I just recently finished Valhalla as well. Assassin's Creed. That is a big game to finish. Then, of course, Resident Evil Village. I finished that game. I managed to speed run it and then play the Village of Shadows mode. That's a fun game to play. Duck Hunt and also Mario. I think I'm playing Mario 3 for the NES as well with my kids. Basically, that's it. That's what I'm playing right now. Sometimes I go through what I have and then like see what interests me at that moment, and I just pick it up and start playing.
Okay, my name is Zaidi. I work as a civil servant. Basically, I've been playing games since I'm very, very young, 5, 6 years old. How I start my collection? Basically, because my father worked as a sailor, so he go to every country to buy special type of game like Nintendo, Sega. Then basically, he will work for quite some time. He will bring a lot of those, like Nintendo Entertainment System games, Sega, Mega Drive, Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Then I would just play. I would just play till I get bored lah. Normally a game I would spend playing 1 day to maybe 2-3 months. Then as I grow older, I have my own finance. I try to buy those games that I could not afford by going like those internet auction, example Carousel, eBay, Facebook. Then I will see if the price is okay. I will just buy from them.
What is the amount of consoles and games do you think you have?
Let me see. Because it's not only in this room, there's in some other rooms. Maybe about 40 console with portable system and portable system and home entertainment. So about 40 of them.
And the games for it?
Oh my god. About, let's say about almost 1,000. I have a Neo Geo I have Mark of the Wolf. I think that game worth about $3,000. Another game I have is a Nintendo game. It's called Little Samson, but I think it's also worth about 3,000 also. Another game I have worth mentioning is a GameCube, an RPG game. The game wise about 500 to 1,000 US. It's called Fire Emblem. There's a lot of more. What mostly I collect is RPG. The reason why I play role-playing games because you can't finish it in one day. Most probably fastest 1 week, 2 weeks. And there's a replay value because a lot of RPG they have multiple endings, so you won't get bored when you play the first try. So there's a replay value in the game. These few days I've been playing more on retro games, but my favorite is still Super Nintendo. I go back play games like Chrono Trigger. I never get bored of it. I still like Chrono Trigger. Then I know during the start of the pandemic, like first game I played was Final Fantasy 7 Remake. That was like what really touched my childhood. I was like 13, 14 when I played the first release on PS1. Then they start remaking a lot of those retro games like Resident Evil 2 and 3. Really want nostalgia to get to play this game in improved graphic, music, and even the plot is not as same as the original.
Retro or modern consoles or handhelds, what should they have? Top 5.
For me, definitely will be PS2. PS2 was my teenage years. I started to play a lot of, especially RPG, a lot on PS2. Then next will be Game Boy Advance because you can bring it anywhere. Number 3 would be GameCube. GameCube was not really popular. It's been overpowered by PS2 and PS3, but GameCube, there's a lot of nice games which now is getting very, very expensive in the market. Then number 4, I would say Nintendo Switch. You can play it at home or you can bring it on the go. Then number 5, Sega Saturn. The reason I choose Sega Saturn is where I play all my fighting games, mainly arcade game that will be definitely on Sega Saturn. So I will put Sega Saturn as my 5th console.
As for me, I finished about 50 games since the start of the pandemic. I want to attribute that to mostly the Xbox Game Pass and a steady stream of Nintendo Switch games. There's also Apple Arcade, which has like a great wealth of games in its library. Not too shabby. It's pretty good. And if you like socializing with your family members, is that a little too condescending? And if you like socializing with your family at home, there's a whole bunch of board games and card games that you can play together. I may be missing Colonel Mustard from my copy of Cluedo, but I'm sure you're more careful with your games than me. You got all those DVDs lying around. Have a movie night. You can watch Shrek, you can watch Surf's Up, you can watch Mulan with bonus disc special features. I'll Make a Man Out of You, performed in Cantonese by Jackie Chan. Do I have enough games to survive this pandemic? Don't count on it. So, are our options of play truly infinite? I'd say so. The fact is that humanity has always been playing games one way or another. We may not be able to play football outside or tennis, but at least we can play it virtually, which I think is a pretty good substitute. Whatever the case, we hope you're doing well right now. I know we've spent more than a year at home at this point, and we're telling you to hang in there. All right, we're right behind you. Just keep calm and hang on. Game on. We're all going through it together, and hopefully this video helps you steer away from boredom and restlessness. Shout out to twitch.tv/RFJohan for the gear. Because I couldn't go to the office to pick it up because it's in another state, technically. So shout out to Cousin Arif, everybody. That's it for today. This is Dale from IGN Southeast Asia. I hope you guys all had a great time. Keep on playing, y'all.